My name is Harper Lane, and I'm 30 years old. On paper, my life is the kind that makes bankers loosen their ties and say, "You're the kind of client we like. Stable job, strong credit, no drama that can't be summarized in a spreadsheet." I work in data analytics for a mid-sized company. My days are patterns and anomalies, finding the one number that doesn't belong in a sea of numbers. The one line that quietly ruins the whole model. I don't chase adrenaline. I chase clean dashboards and balance. My apartment matches that energy. 1 bedroom. Neutral walls. Furniture that all passed through a coupon code and a budget spreadsheet before I clicked order. The lease is in my name. The utilities are in my name. The chipped mugs in my cabinet sit beside a color-coded budget binder that knows every bill's due date and the exact amount by which my soul would die if my credit score ever dipped below 780 for a long time. I thought my love life was just as sensible. I'd been with my boyfriend, Zine Miller, for 4 years. He's 28. Charming. Beautiful in that sculpted, ring-light way, and allergic to anything resembling a 9-to-5. Zane is an influencer. According to him, that means his job is to be the experience. According to reality, it means his job is to look good in places I pay for. He curates content, develops partnerships, and builds his personal brand. I look at spreadsheets, find patterns, and quietly ensure the prize can afford his $300 serums and twice-weekly networking brunches. It was a system. He was the firework, and I was the person making sure none of the sparks hit dry grass. I know how it sounds. I know what you're probably thinking. I was the stable one, the provider, the safe bet. And he was the life of the party. The one everyone looked at first when we walked into a room, and for 4 years, that dynamic worked at least. That's what I told myself, while I paid for the lifestyle, and he let me be seen with him. Lately, though, the prize had been demanding a higher buy-in. His phone, which used to be an open book, left on tables. Face up. Notifications pinging suddenly had the screen lock time of a CIA operative. It never left his side. Not even when he showered. "It's for my work, Bob. I have to be responsive," he said once, pulling it away when I reached to silence. A notification. Then came the late-night strategy sessions with his content manager. Her name is Julia Cruz. 27. Long hair. Sharp eyeliner. And a laugh that sounds like it knows exactly where every camera is. Also his ex-girlfriend. It's not weird. He insisted when they started working together. We're past that. Julia gets my brand. We're a power team. I'm a data analyst. I understand conflict of interest. I also understand being outvoted by a man who thinks he's invincible and a woman who used to kiss him. I tried to be the cool, trusting girlfriend. I really did. Until I got a fraud alert that wasn't fraud. I was at home, half asleep on the couch. A budgeting spreadsheet open on my laptop. When my phone buzzed, alert. Your card ending in 3,921 has a charge of $220 at the Onyx Lounge at 1:15 a.m. If this is not you, I stared at it. The card was mine. Zane was an authorized user. The Onyx Lounge was not exactly a coffee shop. I was home in pajama pants and an old college t-shirt. Zane was allegedly storyboarding content with Julia. I clicked yes. This was me with a hand, that felt strangely steady. The next evening, when Zane came breezing into the apartment, humming and smelling like expensive cologne and someone else's perfume, he was unboxing a gifted pair of $400 sneakers on the couch like nothing had happened. "Brand deal," he announced, all proud grin and white teeth. "Limited collab. I might flip them for double." I watched him set the shoebox down on my coffee table. The coffee table I'd bought on sale, that I was still paying off. "Hey, Zane," I said lightly. "How was your Tuesday night?" He barely looked up. "Exhausting. Just work. So much planning." "Yeah." I tilted my head. "Did the work happen at the Onyx Lounge?" The silence that followed wasn't loud. It was quiet. Almost surgical. He stilled. Slowly. He looked up from the sneakers and met my eyes. "What are you?" "My mom," he scoffed. "I went out for drinks with Julia and some people from the scene. It's networking. You want me to grow." "Right. That $220 tab seems high for networking." I kept my voice even. Calm. Data collection mode. He didn't have the decency to look guilty. Just annoyed. He stood, moving to the mirror by the hallway and fixing his hair, checking his jawline like he was still on camera. So what he said? Shrugging. "Yes. I was with Julia. Yes. We had drinks. She's hot. We flirt. That's what sells." "Is that what you want to hear?" My stomach twisted. "Zane, we're in a relationship. You can't just..." He turned, and his face shifted into something I'd never seen so clearly before. Pure, polished arrogance. "Harper. Stop. Just stop," he said. Like I was a child asking too many questions. "I don't need to be faithful. Okay, I'm the prize here. You're lucky to be with me at all." He took a step closer, voice dropping into that silky tone he used on camera. "Do you have any idea how many DMs I get in one day, men? Women. Everyone. People who would kill to buy me drinks, to fly me out to brand trips, to be seen with me. And you want to fight me over a bar tab?" He smiled the way only people who truly believe they're untouchable can smile. "Be grateful for what you get." For a moment, I just stared at him. All the justifications I'd made for him. All the little cuts I'd pretended were scratches, not wounds. All the "that's just how the industry is" excuses I'd swallowed. I felt them all rearrange in my mind, clicking into place like a puzzle I'd been too scared to solve. He was right about one thing. He was the prize, just not in the way he thought. I felt something inside me go still. Not shattered. Not hysterical. Just still. The way I feel when a messy dataset finally makes sense and I see the outcome, clear as a headline. I studied him, this masterpiece of curated beauty and casual cruelty, and I nodded. "You're right. Zane," I said quietly. "You are..." His face softened immediately, like someone had flipped on his favorite filter. That smug, winsome smile slid back into place. "Exactly." He kissed the air in my direction. "I'm glad you're finally getting it. Now, can you order us some Thai? I'm starving." I smiled back. "Sure," I said. "Actually, I was thinking, you're the prize. We're a great couple. We should show people that." He perked up. "What do you mean?" I picked up my laptop from the coffee table and opened a tab I'd bookmarked that afternoon. When the alert came through, and my pulse finally settled, I saw a casting call. I said, "For a new reality show. It's called Love Locked. His eyes immediately sharpened. A reality show. Yeah. I scrolled, reading aloud, like it was the first time. They take 6 perfect couples to this crazy island resort. Couples challenges. Brand integration. It's all about proving you're the ultimate relationship goal. The prize is $250. Ling, ling, ling. 250. His gaze went distant, calculating clout instead of numbers. Whitby on TV. National. I said, cameras everywhere. Social media tie-ins. And think of the exposure for your brand. You wouldn't just be an influencer. You'd be a star. The prize. He almost vibrated where he stood. Oh my God. Harper. He breathed. That's brilliant. We'd win. I'd be amazing. We'd be amazing. He corrected lazily. I let that slide. For now. We filmed an audition video that weekend. Zayn, talking about his journey and his mission to inspire. Me talking about how supportive I am and how I just want to see him shine. We were exactly the archetype they wanted, the hot influencer and the steady girlfriend who keeps him grounded. We got a call back. Then a final interview. Then congratulations. You've been cast. A week later. The contracts arrived. A stack of paper, almost 80 pages thick, dropped on our kitchen table like a challenge. Zayn flipped through the first 3 pages, eyes glazing over. Ugh. He groaned. Boring. You're the spreadsheet queen. You read it. Just tell me where to sign. My fingers brushed the paper. Legal jargon. Indemnification. Image rights. My kind of bedtime story. Oh. I'll read it. I said, that night, while he scrolled through DMs in bed, with his screen tilted away from me. I sat at the dining table with a highlighter. I read every single word. And there it was, on page 42. Paragraph 8. Participant agrees to grant producers of Love Locked full, unrestricted, and irrevocable access to all personal communications, including, but not limited to mobile phone records, text message, direct messages on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, etc., and email for the purposes of verification. Content. And the transparency challenge. I stared at the clause so long the words blurred. The transparency challenge. I pictured Zayn's phone, buzzing constantly with notifications he called just fans. I pictured Julia's name lighting up at 113 a.m. While my card was paying for their drinks, I pictured the way he'd said, I don't need to be faithful. I'm the prize here. It was all just data. All I had to do was let someone else display it. The clause was beautiful. The next day, he sauntered over while I was finishing my second pass. So he asked, what's the verdict? Nert. Looks pretty standard. I said, keeping my tone mild. They can film us. Use our likeness. The usual. Oh. And they need access to our phones and socials for verification. And there's some kind of transparency challenge. He waved a dismissive hand. Fine. Whatever. My DMs are just brand deals and thirsty people anyway. It's good content. Hand me the pen. I handed it to him. He signed away his privacy. His messages. His curated persona, every DM he thought would never see daylight, all for the chance to prove he was the prize. When he slid the contract back to me, grinning, I added my own signature. My name in careful, steady letters, beside his chaotic scrawl. "We fly out in 2 days," he said, pulling me close for a quick, distracted kiss. "We're going to crush this. You'll see." I looked at his face, already imagining itself on billboards. I thought of all the work trips, all the late-night strategy sessions with his ex, all the jokes I'd swallowed for the first time since he'd said, "I don't need to be faithful." I felt something almost like peace. He wanted a stage. He was going to get one. And when the lights came up, the numbers would finally tell the truth. The love-locked villa looks like someone gave a Pinterest board a credit card and no supervision, all white furniture, all glass and gleaming silver, neon magenta mood lighting in places no one asked for under the bar, behind the headboards, around the pool like a permanent sunset, cameras tucked into corners, behind mirrors, glinting in the chrome of shower heads if you know how to look. Apparently, we are one of 6 couples. Rick and Jenna, the hyper-competitive CrossFit pair. They jog in place while waiting for their mics. Leo and Mindy, the long-distance criers. They've already teared up twice about communication. Gary and Sue, the older, stable pair who hold hands like they've been doing it for 40 years. Bryce and Madison, 2 other influencer types who instantly clock Zane as either competition or ally, probably both. And us. Zane is in his element. The cameras track him and he preens, turning 3/4 toward the lens, lighting catching his cheekbones. He gives candid interviews by the pool about being misunderstood as a pretty boy and the grind behind the glamour. He wears a new outfit for every single shot. I can see the producers falling in love with him in real time. Me, I'm playing my role too, the steady girlfriend, the rock, the woman who keeps him grounded while beaming at him like he's the sun instead of a star, with a very unstable orbit. On day 2, the host, Kip, late 30s, permanently tan, teeth like a studio light, pulls us aside for our first one-on-one. "Kip," he says to the camera, "we've got Harper and Zane, our classic dynamic, the prize and the anchor. Zane, what's it like having so much attention on you all the time?" Zane laughs modestly. He's practiced this. "It's a lot," he admits. "But I'm grateful. I want to inspire. I want to show people the real me." And Harper. Kip turns to me. "What's it like being the rock for such a firecracker?" I can almost feel the storyboards behind his eyes. Loyal girlfriend. Flashy boyfriend. We're archetypes in his head already. When you're lucky enough to be with the prize. Ooh, sigh. Letting my voice go soft. You just feel grateful to be in the game. Kip lights up. That's beautiful. The producers eat it up. The other women, especially Sue, the older wife, look at me with something between pity and concern. The challenges are ridiculous. Build a raft that symbolizes your relationship. One producer announces, clapping her hands like we're at summer camp, instead of emotional gladiator school. We're supposed to work together using crates, ropes, and foam pieces. Zane picks up a rope, frowns, and sets it down again. "This is going to mess up my hands," he complains. Harper's good with practical stuff. I'm more conceptual. Translation: I build the raft, while he talks about vision to the cameras. A day later, cook a meal that represents your future together. We're given a basket of ingredients, and 1 hour, Zane holds a wine glass, swirling, as if it's part of a bit, and Art directs from the side while I chop. Stir. Thaste. Make it elegant but approachable, he says. as if I'm a line cook in his restaurant. Like me. We're doing well in the rankings. The producers love consistency. And I give it to them. Yes. Bob. Great idea. Bob. You're amazing. Bob. But the entitlement, it's like being in a sealed room with it. It grows, feeding on the constant affirmation. Being trapped in this bubble amplifies his narcissism to a terrifying degree. He flirts openly, shamelessly, not just with the women contestants. Mindy giggles nervously every time he compliments her, but with the production staff. Wow. He tells Alexis, one of the main producers, as she shoulders a heavy camera rig. You must be so strong to carry that thing all day. He lifts his shirt to wipe sweat from his face. The move is casual and absolutely not casual. I see the way Julia watches him. 2. She arrived a few days into filming, wearing a lanyard and a smile that screams, I know where the bodies are buried. The show hired her as Zayn's external content manager to help coordinate his brand crossover posts. It gives her a legitimate reason to linger at the fringes of scenes, whispering in his ear, adjusting his shirt, taking behind-the-scenes shots, angles. Bob. She laughs once, brushing past his arm. You know, I've always been good at your angles. He grins at her like they're in on a joke. I never heard. At night, in the bunk-like bedroom we share, Zayn lies on his back staring at the ceiling. Did you see the way Bryce's followers are engaging, he says. We need to up our game. I might do more banter with Julia on camera. People eat that up. I look at him in the dim light. We're here as a couple. I remind him. Exactly. He says. Couples are complex. It's good TV, if people wonder. That's how you build interest. He is so certain of his own untouchability that it almost feels like a superpower. Then, several nights in, I hear it. I'm in the hallway outside the outdoor lounge, waiting to be mic'd for a late-night reflective moment when I hear voices around the corner. Madison's laugh. Then Zayn's, Harper is really nice. Madison says, she's so patient with you. Oh, she's a sweetheart. Zayn replies breezily. She's my safety net. Like, she's the 401k. You know, Madison snorts. What does that even mean? It means she's the long-term security. You need it. But you don't stare at it. You've got to have fun with your play money. There's the clink of glasses. And this place is full of play money. They both laugh. I stand there, hand pressed lightly against the wall. Listening to my boyfriend reduce me to a retirement plan while I am quite literally 50 feet away. It stings. Not the words I already know what he thinks of me, but the ease with which he says them, the way his voice holds no shame, no hesitation, just casual cruelty. I make myself walk away calmly. I duck into the confessional room, a glorified closet with a chair, a camera, and a ring light. The door clicks shut behind me. A producer's disembodied voice comes from behind the camera. Harper, how are you feeling? I take a breath. I let my eyes gloss just enough without spilling over. I know how to tell a story. I've watched them do it all week. It's hard. I say quietly. Hearing the person you love talk about you like you're just a backup plan. I thought our foundation was stronger. I look down, twisting my fingers in my lap. I'm just here to prove my loyalty. Isai. I hope he is too. There's a pause. I can almost hear the producer's smile. That's really powerful. Harper, she says. Thank you for sharing. We're all building narratives. Zayn thinks he's building the misunderstood star. The producers think they're building the prize and the rock. I'm building something different. Yesterday, the producers collected all of our phones. Kip gathered us by the pool. Cameras rolling. As a few crew members stood ready with plastic bins. For your next challenge, Kip announced, we're cutting you off from the outside world. No phones. No internet. No distractions. Just you and your relationships. Some couples looked genuinely nervous. Leo and Mindy held hands like they were being led to separate airport gates. Zayn, on the other hand, looked bored. Finally, he said, I've been dying for a detox anyway. Everyone's so obsessed with their phones. He handed his over without even a glance at me. I watched Alexis take it. Watched her slip it into a labeled bag. Her expression was neutral professional, but when she turned to her assistant, something flickered in her eyes. Not cruelty, not glee. Something sharper. Hungrier. They'd found it. They had his DMs. His messages. All the play money he'd been cashing in while I balanced budgets and bought his protein powder on my card. Later that evening, back in our room, Zayn paced. This is going to be some dumb trust exercise, he muttered. Like, do you know your partner's favorite color? We're going to crush it. He flopped onto the bed. Arms spread. You're quiet, he said. Glancing over, you mad about the phone thing, don't be. I'm all in. For the show. For us. I studied him. This man who thought every risk was rigged in his favor. They called it the transparency test. I said. He shrugged. Whatever. Transparency is great. My fans love authenticity. He fell asleep easily, snoring slightly, sprawled across the white duvet like a king on cheap marble. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the soft hum of the villa's air system and the fainter hum of cameras turning. Tracking movement. This morning, Kip gathered us again. Okay. Lovers, he said, voice booming. Tonight is the big one. The transparency test. The other couples shifted uneasily on the white couches arranged around the pool. In a relationship, honesty is everything. Kip continued. So, we're going to show you some anonymous concerns, some messages, some little digital breadcrumbs, and see how you handle the truth. Leo and Mindy already looked teary. Rick and Jenna looked like they were about to compete in the Olympics. Gary and Sue just squeezed each other's hands. Zayn sat up straighter, smoothing his shirt, flashing his best camera smile. He thinks this is fan mail. Kip started with Rick and Jenna, someone's anonymous submission about Jenna still having her ex's sweatshirt. Rick's jaw clenched. Jenna cried. It was good TV. Then, and now, Kip said, turning toward us. Harper and Zayn. Zayn's back straightened. His hand slid onto my knee. Possessive and performative, all at once. You two have been an inspiration in this villa. Kip said. Zayn. Our star. Harper. Our rock. But we've heard a little something concerning. He looked into the camera, then back down at his cards. Zayn. An anonymous source is worried that you refer to Harper as your safety net and your 401k. What's that about? There it was, the hot mic moment. Zayn's eyes widened for a heartbeat. Then he laughed, throwing his head back. Oh my God, he said. That was just stupid talk. It's a compliment. She's reliable. She's my rock. I'm the prize. She's the vault. It's romantic. He grabbed my hand and squeezed it hard enough to hurt. Tell them. Baba, he murmured through his teeth. You love being my vault. I looked at our joined hands, at the cameras, at the water in the pool. Perfectly still. I let my shoulders slump a little. I swallowed. I just want us to be honest. Zane. That's all. The nearest camera zoomed in on my face. On hurt and hope and something else they couldn't name, Kip nodded solemnly. Well, he said, that was just the warm-up. Folks, the couples murmured. Zane's grip tightened. The real transparency test is tonight. Kip announced, we're going to hook each of you up to a heart rate monitor and show you some direct messages from your partner's phones. For the first time since we arrived. Zane's smile didn't reach his eyes. DMs? He repeated. Like, all of them. Kip's tone never changed. Like the ones our verification team thought were relevant. He said cheerfully. You all agreed. Page 42. Zane laughed. But it came out thinner than usual. Isn't that a little invasive? He asked. Like privacy laws, or whatever. Kip lifted a laminated copy of the contract like it was a prop in a magic trick. You all signed up for transparency, he said smoothly. Now we're going to see who really is love-locked. That night, Zane doesn't sleep. He tosses and turns, gets up, sits on the edge of the bed, head in his hands. This is stupid. He mutters. It's just fans. They can't show private stuff. They wouldn't. I lie on my side, watching him through half-lidded eyes. I guess we'll find out. Isai? But we don't have anything to hide. Right. He looks at me then. Really looks. Trying to decide if I know. He opens his mouth, closes it. The silence stretches between us. Full of things he never thought would leave his phone. The finale episode films tomorrow night. The finale night feels like electricity in the air. The villa has been transformed, candles flickering around the pool. Lights glittering against the glass walls. Every camera red-lit and alive. We're all dressed like it's a gala. Not an execution. Zane wears a white linen shirt, half unbuttoned. Gold chain gleaming against tan skin. I wear the silver dress. The stylist picked one that catches the light just enough to make me look softer. Smaller. The producers want a story, the goddess and her worshipper. They just don't realize the altar's about to burn. We take our seats on a curved white couch. Kip smiles, his perfect host smile. Welcome to the transparency test, he says, voice smooth and warm. Tonight, we discover how honest our couples really are. Every pair is wired with tiny sensors that blink against their skin heart rate monitors. On the massive screen behind Kip glows a blue pulse line for each of us. Leo and Mindy go first. Minor DMs. Innocent but enough to make Mindy sob, and Leo swear he'll be better. The crowd eats it up. Then Rick and Jenna, a flirty message from an ex-trainer. A little blow-up. Then a hug. Gary and Sue Pure. Wholesome forgiveness. And then Kip turns toward us. Now. Our fan favorite. He announces, Zane and Harper. The prize and the rug. Zane straightens, flashing his camera smile. Ready when you are. Kip nods to the tech team. The giant screen behind him flickers. Zane. Kip says, you told us your DMs were just business and fans. Our verification team found a few that might need context. Zane chuckles too loudly. Sure. Bring them on. The screen lights up with a screenshot. Instagram, Julia Cruz. Shows boring you. Prize, beyond. Literally counting down the minutes. Have to listen to Harper talk about our journey. Trying not to roll my eyes into my skull. At least Alexis is hot. Might leverage that for more screen time. Gasps ripple through the other contestants. Julia, his ex. His content manager, the one he swore was strictly professional. Zayn freezes. His smile cracking like a bad edit. He forces a laugh. Come on. That's obviously a joke. We banter. Everyone knows that. Kip tilts his head. Is this also banter? A second screenshot fills the screen. A text chain. Timestamped the week before we arrived. Zayn, love you. I can't wait for this adventure. Me, love you too. Baba. It's going to be amazing. Right below it, a DM to Julia. Sent 1 minute later, Zayn just sent the goodnight text to the puppy. He's so easy. Can't wait to see you after she leaves for work tomorrow. P.S. She totally bought the Onyx Lounge lie. Lol. The villa goes silent. You can hear the buzz of a camera pivoting. You can hear Mindy sniffle. You can hear my pulse steady. Almost serene. Zayn's heart rate monitor flashes on the screen, 118. 130. 150. Climbing. He's shaking his head. Voice rising. That's fake? Deep faked. You can't just, this is illegal, this is edited. Kip's tone stays calm. Almost sympathetic. It's not fake. Zayn. We verified timestamps. Aux sources. And devices. And you signed the release. Page 42. The screen flashes to the clause itself. I watch Zayn's eyes dart over the words. Full. Unrestricted. Irrevocable access. Kip turns to me. Harper. You're hearing this for the first time. What are you thinking? I look at the giant screen. At the messages. At him. He's breathing hard now. Eyes wide, like a cornered animal that just realized the cage door's been locked for weeks. I keep my voice soft. Calm. He told me he was the prize. Usai. That I should be grateful he came home to me at all. A beat. I guess I just wanted everyone else to see what that prize was really worth. Zayn's face contour. You set me up, you did this, you knew. I stand. Reaching behind me to unclip my mic. The movement is slow. Deliberate. I didn't set you up. I say quietly. You did. The sound of the mic pack hitting the white couch echoes louder than I expect. I'm done. I tell him. He surges to his feet. Frantic now. Done. What do you mean, done? You can't be done. We're a team. This is our brand. No. Isai. We were a facade. And I walk. Past the cameras. Past the pool. Past Kip's perfect host expression, frozen mid-concern. Behind me. Zayn's voice breaks into a raw, ugly scream. Harper, get back here, you ruined this for me, you ruined everything. The cameras follow as I push open the villa doors and step out into the humid night. Outside. The air smells like salt and distant rain. The sky is streaked with purple and gold from the last traces of sunset. Somewhere behind me, Zayn keeps shouting, his voice thin and furious. Bouncing off the glass walls, the episode will end. I know. With this shot, the slow zoom of me walking away, dress glinting under the lights. The villain's voice fading behind me. It's cinematic. Too perfect to be real. But it is real. And for the first time in years. Sobbing. Update 1. It's been a month since the episode aired. The editors knew exactly what they were doing. They turned me into the quiet hero, the betrayed but graceful girlfriend, and Zayn into a national cautionary tale. The internet devoured it. Clips of him saying I'm the prize set to clown music. Memes of my face, with captions like, return policy, no refunds on narcissists. Comment sections filled with, she's the prize now. Zayn lost every brand deal within 48 hours. Julia's personal account went private after her own girlfriend, a personal trainer, uploaded a 10-minute video titled The Truth About My Cheating Boyfriend and His Ex. Their followers turned on them instantly. Number Valton Prize trended for 3 days straight. He tried to sue the production company. He even tried to sue me. His lawyer sent a thick envelope demanding damages for emotional distress. My new attorney, Ms. Vance, replied with 1 page. A notarized copy of the same clause he'd signed, page 42. Paragraph 8. We never heard from his lawyer again. Then came Carla. His mother. She found my new apartment somehow showed up in the hallway in pearls and perfume. Eyes red. You humiliated my son, she hissed. You destroyed his life. He's depressed. Harper. You owe him. I kept the door half closed. He owed me honesty. I said. He lied. He cheated. The cameras just caught what was already there. Carla's voice broke. You're a monster. You planned this. I planned to get the truth. I said simply. He provided the content. I closed the door. Now. Zayn's back online barely. His TikTok feed is all apology videos and cancel culture ruined me rants filmed in a dim studio apartment. The same white sneakers he once bragged about are stacked behind him like props from a better life. His view count is dismal. His sponsorships gone. His DMs, I imagine, finally empty. He's no longer the prize. He's the warning. As for me, I'm okay. I made my Instagram private for a while. The flood of messages was overwhelming. Women thanking me. Strangers offering coffee. Producers pitching spin-offs. Talia, one of the contestants from the show, DM'd me last week. That was the most insane thing I've ever seen. You handled it with so much grace. If you ever want a coffee off camera, my treat, I haven't answered yet. Maybe I will. For now, I'm enjoying the quiet, the spreadsheets, the feeling of my own life, finally, beautifully, balanced again. I'm not a vault. I'm not a safety net. And I was never anyone's background prop. I'm the author of the dataset now. And the truth. The truth always finds its way to the screen.